The dream of owning a home in Singapore is a common one. Many people believe that their Housing and Development Board HDB flat will be sufficient for their retirement. They think that they can sell it later to fund their golden years. But what if that dream turned into a nightmare? Let's follow the story of a Singaporean couple and see how their HDB flat, once believed to be their asset, became their biggest liability. Meet Mr. and Mrs. Tan. They've lived in their HDB flat for over 30 years. They believed that their HDB flat would be sufficient for their retirement. They thought that they could sell it later and use the money to enjoy their retirement years. But as they approached retirement, they realized that they didn't have enough savings to fund their golden years. They decided to sell their HDB flat, thinking that they could get a good return on their investment. However, they were shocked to find out that their HDB flat could not sell as high as they thought it would. They had to refund the compounded Central Provident Fund CPF interest and pay off the interest they had accumulated over the years. In the end, they had little money left from the sale of their HDB, and they could not buy another HDB flat of their own. They had to move in with their children, and their savings ran out quickly. They had to rely on their children's allowance for their basic living needs. They could not travel or do things that they always wanted to do before retirement. They were forced to find work, although they were tired, but they could not stop. If they could turn back time, they would sell their HDB flat when it was still profitable with great returns. They would turn that money into better or bigger homes, which could help them to grow their assets. They would use asset progression strategies to turn their HDB flat, which was once their biggest liability, into their asset. They would generate positive cash flow, which could help them to finance their retirement. The lesson to be learned from Mr. and Mrs. Tan's story is that they should do a property health check every 3 to 5 years to ensure that their HDB flat is still able to grow in value and not their biggest liability. By doing so, they can make sure that their home remains an asset that will help them enjoy their retirement years. Don't let your HDB flat become your biggest liability. Start planning for your retirement today.